Hello, wild people. Welcome to AK Wild One. I don't know about you, but my heart and mind drift toward the mountains, even as my body seems content to live as a lowlander. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 tips for how older backpackers can defy the march of time and keep on trekking. Thank you for tuning in. The love of the outdoors is central to who I am, and I have no desire to quit my outdoor adventures. Yes, there may come a day when I have to exchange rocking the high country for the rocking chair, but not today, not this day. So how do you stay active in the outdoor lifestyle when the Grim Reaper is just over the horizon? Well, here are my tips. And honestly, I believe the last two tips, 9 and 10, are the most essential. If you enjoy this channel, please hit that subscribe and notifications button. It helps a lot. Okay, tip number 1, seek the type of outdoor experiences that motivate you intrinsically. Sometimes you want to rough it. Sometimes you want the comfort of a rental cabin at your destination. Other times you want to get gritty and metamorphosize into full-blown hiker trash. For example, I'm not a fan of winter backpacking. The winter temperatures in Alaska can reach 50 degrees below zero. However, I still love long-distance backpacking, fat biking, and rafting. At this moment, I don't feel compelled to complete another 2,600-mile hike, but a 500-miler a year still excites me. The bottom line is do whatever you can, whenever you can, to keep shaking that booty. Tip number 2, choose trail company carefully. Hike with supportive, perhaps entertaining people who have good common sense. Flash and I have different hiking styles. It used to be that I walked a little faster than her some of the time, but now I'm the slow one because, well, I like to take more pictures and videos along the trail. So being flexible is a good thing. We are compatible, and that's the most important thing to find in a trail companion. Tip number 3, as you get older, it's more important to focus on better nutrition. I'm convinced that older hikers just can't get away with eating the crap that we ate as teenagers. For me, I need to limit my love of Dr. Peppers, Doritos, and peanut M&Ms. It's very tempting to be lulled into the mindset that you can eat a bunch of junk food on the trail because you need the calories, and that no matter what you'll eat, you'll still lose weight and get in shape. Practicing good nutrition will help you perform better on the trail and afterward. Tip number 4, remember, it's not all about the equipment. Or should I say, figuring out a good backpack, tent, and sleeping bag is not the hard part. And there are plenty of resources to help you figure out the gear you'll need. If you find yourself obsessing more about the equipment than the experience, maybe your priorities are a bit skewed. Don't obsess over adding that new cutting-edge piece of gear to your arsenal. Rather, it's more important to train, work on your why, and seek out experiences that are aligned with your heart. I heard someone say that backpacking is the art of learning what to leave behind. I think that's the beauty of it. Tip number 5, share your passion with your grandkids, kids, or your community. Let them see you for the badass that you are. Think about it. You have an opportunity to inspire younger people, to show them what old age can look like when you haven't abandoned your passion. I remember after we hiked the PCT, my daughter commented on Facebook, "I have the coolest parents." I can't tell you how good that made us feel. Also, the positive comments I've received from viewers of this channel make me want to stay in the game, to keep showing others how to stay active in the outdoors. You could also sign up to share a slideshow or presentation at your church, library, or some other local organization. I've shown my documentaries at the National Park Auditorium here in Alaska, and an environmental organization has asked me to give talks on ultralight backpacking. Sharing your passion with young people or your community helps you stay motivated, inspired, and committed to staying adventurous. Tip number 6. This fits with the tip above. Preserve a record of your journey. Write poems or essays of your experience. Put together a slideshow with music. Record a journey as an MP3 in which you talk about your dreams and fears along the trail. Or, in my case, make a documentary or two that your kids and grandkids can watch years later to see how you experienced your love of the outdoors. Even today, I still watch sections of my documentaries, A Pacific Crest Trail Cottywample Parts 1 and 2, and it reminds me how thankful I am to have hiked the trail. In some ways, looking back, it almost seems like a dream. Tip number 7, continue to challenge yourself. Find hikes that are a little bit tougher, a bit longer, a bit more wildernessy, is that a word? Than the one before. Push yourself, but it doesn't have to be too far. Remember, baby steps matter. If you have never backpacked before, take a walk around your neighborhood and sleep in your tent in the backyard. The next step is to hike somewhere, spend the night, and return. After you've completed a one-night backpacking trip, try to go 2 nights, and then up to 5 nights. Once you can do 5-night backpacking trips, you're practically ready for a long-distance through hike because the PCT, for example, is really just a collection of 5-day trips for most of the way. Tip number 8, go easy on yourself. Learn to laugh at your bad days. You've probably been through a lot of adversity in your life, and you probably have learned that the rain will stop, your grumpy mood will fade, those blisters will heal, and what you were angry about yesterday will seem trivial today. If you endure hardships on your adventure, at least you'll have some interesting stories to tell around the fire or when you get back home. Who knows, those bad memories may become a part of the best times of your life. On the trail, learning to deal with bad days has a special term. It's called learning to embrace the suck. It's actually a pretty profound way of looking at the world. Okay, now for the golden tips. Tip number 9. When faced with the decision about whether or not to even go on a trip, let John Muir's "The mountains are calling and I must go" quote be your default mode, unless dangerous conditions such as fire, floods, snowstorms, etc. warrant staying at home. Each day is precious as we get older. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, so damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead on your adventure. Tip number 10, pursue those moments of grace, those moments of quality over quantity. Dream of living, not just existing. For me, I honestly would rather experience waking up to one beautiful sunrise in the high country with flash, with a hot cup of coffee, than suffer 5 years sitting on a couch yelling at the news anchor while some cantankerous nurse comes along weekly to stuff tubes into my neverlands. I wonder if others feel the same way. It's important to live your golden years without any regrets. I am thankful to Greg for sending me a poem that sums up this sentiment perfectly. It was written by a plumbing contractor named Reuben Anderson and quoted by Harry Truman in David McCullough's biography of Truman. And it goes as follows. Every man's a sportsman in the dream of his intent, a potential outdoorsman when his thoughts are pleasure bent. But he mostly puts the idea off for things that must be done, and he doesn't get his outing till his outing days are gone. So, in hurry-scurry work, his living days are spent, and he does his final camping in a low green tent. Well, fellow wild people, older hikers, it's time to reset our priorities. As Robert Frost said, you've got miles to go before you sleep. Time for one last hurrah. Time to hit the trail and tear it up. May your life be adventurous, overflowing with moments that take your breath away, and full of happy and hard days on the trail. And so, until we meet again, live wildly, my friends.